What if what we share is worse than what we don't? Hi, welcome to 5 Minute Fika, where we find the time to do a little self-care of the soul by thinking about true and beautiful things. Well, yesterday we talked about the human capacity for greatness and all the wonderful things that we can accomplish. But we have to acknowledge that we also have a great capacity for pain, for inflicting it on ourselves and on others. So I want to read you something that I wrote a few years ago after a mass shooting, but sadly we could plug in any crisis going on in the world today and reach the same conclusions. It's called Everyday Words. Are you there? I love you. You make me laugh. They're just ordinary phrases, everyday words that feel like heads on shoulders or tousled hair and sleepy eyes. They breathe warmth into the day in and day out rhythms of life together for mothers and sons, fathers and daughters, friends, siblings, lovers. Come here, my darling. What if I lost you? And when the words stop, someone's world stops. The words have stopped for 31 in El Paso and 9 in Dayton, and the worlds of those who spoke everyday words to them shattered. This tragedy is not new. We've seen the terror and the aftermath of shootings on TV, heard rage in the shaking voices that described it, watched disbelief cross the faces of those standing speechless in the wake of it. Gilroy, Las Vegas, Orlando, Sandy Hook, Parkland. But this tragedy is new. To these families, these people, these broken-hearted ones who now wake up to a fresh slap of reality every morning. Their pain is not somehow better or worse because of who they are or where they live. It just is. Jagged, yawning, overwhelming, soul-crushing pain. And it matters. It matters because the apathy that tempts me to brush past it scares me. When I sigh and shake my head and move easily on to mindless distractions, I forget that the same humanity woven through them weaves its way through me. It connects us. Honoring their loss honors the dignity of mankind. And it matters because somehow we all know this pain shouldn't be here. The fact that it is means that something's wrong. Racism, rejection, abuse, loneliness, anxiety, arrogance, depression, and addiction. They all make us feel the same, restless, on edge. These things shouldn't exist. And yet they do. What kind of cancer stalks our souls? When tragedies happen, we blame the obvious contributing factors. It was the shooter's hatred for people who weren't like him. It was the rhetoric posted in online forums. It was the lack of mental health care. It was a government divided on gun control. It was a million tiny details that when fused together birthed an event that tore gaping holes in the hearts of mothers and sons, fathers and daughters, friends, siblings, lovers. The problem is that some of those tiny details live in me, in my own soul, and I don't think I'm alone. Details like selfishness, ambition, anger, irritation at the shortcomings of others and frustration at my own, a chest-thumping determination to do what I want. These seeds may not have sprouted and grown into disaster, but they're there. They wait. If I can stop them from blossoming into bad decisions, I win. But I don't always win. And this is the thing I've learned. We all share a capacity for making bad decisions. The differences between us are surface level. Skin color, eye color, cultural nuance, social status. We make more of them than we need to. In fact, our dissimilarities are like the facets of a diamond. Each one reflects its own singular beauty, and the gem is more spectacular, not less, for the variety. You and I are the same. We are gloriously different and equally priceless, all at once. Our diversity, then, is a colorful mosaic skimming the surface of humanity. But our commonality runs deep, soul deep. And there is where we share a secret we'd all prefer to ignore. The secret is that we don't live up to our own standards. We want to be kind, but we snap when we're tired. We want to be brave, but fear keeps us silent and still. We want to be patient, but people get on our last nerve. And when these tiny details blossom into actions we would condemn if we saw them in others, the problem grows. And when my selfishness has a run-in with your selfishness, the problem grows. And when 7.5 billion people live on the same planet and our inability to behave the way we wish we could runs through us like a plague, the problem does more than grow. It overwhelms. And it spills over into jagged, yawning, soul-crushing pain. The problem shouldn't be there, but it is. It is. And while our instinct is to fight it by attacking what makes us different, our differences aren't the problem. Our similarity is. The same humanity that weaves through you weaves its way through me, and until we solve the problem that is soul deep, all of our surface level squabbles will remain. Admitting this doesn't in any way minimize the actions of those who allowed seeds inside them to grow into unspeakable horrors. It simply recognizes that such seeds exist, and that they lie in furrows so deep we cannot dig them out. To say otherwise is to close willful eyes to the evidence. Being honest about the problem is not a solution, but it is the first step toward finding a solution. The cancer that stalks our souls must be diagnosed before it can be treated, and the responsibility to start digging is something we all share and cannot ignore, because everyday words need to be spoken. When they are silenced, the dignity of us all is at risk. Everyday words like "I love you," and "you're amazing," and "it's good to be alive," and "you're not in this alone," and that you, my darling, are spectacular. Have a great day.